Welcome to From Crisis to Community Stories of Resilience. In this podcast, you will hear directly from migrants, displaced persons, and refugees about their hopes, fears, and visions for the future. Thank you for being here. Let's dive in. In the last episode, we explored what it means to arrive in Germany and navigate complex legal and bureaucratic systems. But arriving is only the beginning. In this episode, we turn to what comes next: integration.
Some guests have chosen to use aliases to safeguard their privacy, a decision we deeply respect. No one is defined by a single moment. By sharing under an alias, our guests can speak truthfully about their lived experience while reclaiming ownership of their stories. Berlin is one of Europe's most multicultural cities, where languages, cultures, and communities overlap. But for many displaced migrants and refugees, integrating into a new culture meant learning German, navigating everyday life, and building new connections while still carrying the weight of uncertainty. Our guests share their experiences of adapting to Berlin and finding a sense of belonging.
Our first guest Zain was studying IT in Ukraine when the Russian invasion began. Seeking safety, he first arrived in Stuttgart before eventually moving to Berlin. Like many non-Ukrainian third country nationals, he initially received adequate protection under the EU Temporary Protection Directive. He continued advocating for full access to temporary protection. His experience highlights how unclear pathways shape the integration process for many migrants navigating Germany's system.
So I find the word integration always really funny because in some senses it's a very political term that I don't like. But I would say that the city grew onto me eventually. Took a lot of time. So like in the early months of the war, it's naturally really hard. People are super stressed. Things are not clear, and it's hard for people to look beyond their own situations to actually go out and, explore the city or understand the culture, see how it is different from where you had been before. But I think as the residency statuses of me and people around me started getting clearer, at least since we started getting our Fiktionsbescheinigungen, we had more time to breathe. We had more time to actually do something other than constantly worrying about our residency status here. That's when I started going to my German classes and meeting other people, not just people who came from Ukraine, but also people from all walks of life who were learning German. So it broadens your perspective. It opens you to a lot of people and it helps a lot. I think learning German actually helped me understand German culture more. And then again, just like experiencing going out there, going to protests, going to solidarity events, going to exhibitions, it gradually opens you up to the culture here and for what it is, the good and the bad.
Our next guest Bola was living in Kyiv with her husband and children before the war began. As a student and a mother, she had to balance rebuilding her own life while supporting her children's adaptation to a new environment. From language learning to engaging with local communities, she shares how everyday efforts helped her family begin to build a life in Berlin.
How have you and your family experienced the process of integrating into the Berlin culture and society?
With my first child being in school, it was a bit of struggle. There were some things she would want to do. There were some things, like gathering together with the parents and all that. The fear of, we don't know if this is going to fall through, if they're going to ask us to move eventually. The fear of, will they come and knock on the door one day and tell us to move? There was a lot going on at that time. There was a lot. I could not even face my child because children, they have a way of, they have a way of quickly getting used to their new environment. For me to now say, this is what's happening now, they're going to send us away. How do I even say it to the child? But right now, we are moving on fine. I try my best to go for parents' meeting, make sure that she has time for one or two of her friends, To me, that's the way we can integrate, make her integrate, and also me. Then for me, I go for the language. I already have my B1 now. I hope to get the B2 because the language is important for me. Really, really important. I can't really important for me. I need to learn the language. So we've been getting fine. My husband also is done the language. He hopes to get the B1 done again. Because, we're getting fine. We are meeting people. The family house is helping us. We get to go to different family houses. We go to playgrounds. We meet other people. Then, of course, the community, we have a church community, the people from our place too, we get to meet them and other people basically. So anything, when you're in Rome, you behave like, that's what we're doing. We just have to get involved, be integrated, the language, the people, and do the best we can.
So how have the migrant communities in Berlin influenced like your stay? You say you have a church community, what other communities?
Yeah, like I said, the church has really been of good help to us. Then my Nigerian community, like I said, we have a friend here, the family is here. So we try to meet them once in a while because it's not easy. You can't be meeting every day, like maybe every day. No. So when there's time, you get to meet together. The children will be together. We talk, we discuss. Even when we can't see, if there's anything that seems like an issue, this is how this thing is. What's happening? What can we do? We get to advise one another. We receive advice, anything we can.
Our third guest Moses was continuing his medical studies online after the war disturbed his education in Ukraine. Arriving in Berlin meant learning to navigate language barriers, paperwork, and the job market while trying to stay on track academically. His experience highlights both the obstacles and the opportunities that shaped his integration journey.
How have you found the process of integrating Berlin culture, the people, the society?
Berlin is a blend of. I wouldn't say it's like one culture, but it's just like an amalgamation of so many cultures that come to mix at least for the better, at least because there's the Arabic culture, there's Turkish culture, the African culture, there's also the German culture also involved. There are also people who come from other countries like Poland, Spain, Italy, you understand, Argentina, and so you find out, like, for example, whenever you walk in the street, let's say maybe 3 are Germans. When you walk on the street, like out of 10 people, only 3 might be Germans, but the other ones are just Spanish, and Italian, and African, or even Asians. Yeah, so initially I thought I was going to meet more German culture, but then I came to see like this kind of an amazing, like it's like so many cultures are just bounded. They have this kind of cross sections. They're just different cultures, but the fact that they all occupy this one town, Berlin. So yeah, it was amazing. Yeah. So at least it was quickly easier now, because once you I felt like I had so many, like there was no kind of judgment, what kind of culture, because full so many cultures which are intermixing. And the African culture, so it was chill.
How did you navigate the language barriers, especially in everyday situations like shopping, healthcare, seeking help?
Initially, like I said, it was more easy to get away with English. And the other thing was also at that time, like so many organizations, they were offering like this kind of free German courses. So at that time, it was so because there were so many, it was literally hard not to at least find one that actually suits you, depending on where you lived in Berlin. And go to the shop and try to speak English, you understand, and people will still understand you. And so that flexibility and the fact that there was availability of language courses, that was one of the things that helped at least navigate through language barrier.
What strategies did you use to learn the German language?
From A1 to B1, you pretty much have no idea. You just, you read the book, you listen to the teacher, which just speaks very clearly, very slowly, you understand. But then you come on the street and then it's all chaotic. But then once you hit B2, you understand, then it's like now you have this kind of, now you're used to hearing people, you understand. But to be honest, everyone is different. I've seen people who have actually learned German, like that baptism by fire. They were just staying with Germans who didn't speak English, so they just had to learn it by just speaking it, or like, so at the beginning they'll be speaking like a very like even lower than a beginner level German, and to the point where now they are even fluent in German. They are like functional illiterates. They cannot write in German, but they can literally speak in German. And then now you have those who have actually gone to school, they've gone to courses, they can read and understand, but now speaking is an issue. So I think the thing that I would say that helped me at least with the German language was the fact that at least the places, the companies that I used to when I got like an entrance jobs. So the entrance jobs at the beginning, because they were hiring people, they didn't care whether you knew German or not. But then as time goes on, it's like it was hard to find English jobs, and now I was forced to now work with Germans throughout there. So the fact that now every time, like my whole working environment was just full of just German speakers. So I mean that it throws you in the deep end, and now you just have to now navigate to come to the surface, And yeah, so that's I want to say the strategy to just it's an occurrence in a situation whereby you just have to now adapt.
What are some of the most surprising cultural differences and encounters you had to adapt to?
Okay, one of the things was like I never realized that the Germans were they were so direct, and then they also don't just talk to strangers. You know how like from my country, you can literally greet someone on the streets, and they'll greet you back. I mean, because there's no fuss about it. But with the Germans, if they don't know you, if you're a stranger, you say hello to them. They'll just look at you like in a strange way, like you say, and they just ignore you. And the other thing was the fact that it was a homogeneous kind of culture, like this mixture of so many cultures. So it wasn't just one rigid German culture. I was expecting like I'll come to Berlin, I would just see people eating like potatoes, and then with koita salad, But then I came, I saw, okay, there was doner shops everywhere. There's pizza. There's also Persian kitchens, Indian restaurants. So it was a homogeneous culture, to say the least.
What role did social media or online communities play in your integration?
I really learned a lot of German through social media, through like memes. And then there's also this German teachers who just like be teaching you about verbs and articles, and and then also these people who actually post about the legal procedures that takes that one has to go through before someone gets a passport, like a German passport or something like that. With all this, it's like I don't know how it's like the algorithm like knew that I'm in German now, and they're like, oh, you're a foreigner, so this is what you might be interested in. So yeah, I think that's how social media actually helped me through this whole.
For many displaced persons arriving in Berlin, Berlin became a destination by chance. Join us next time as we continue sharing the voices and stories of migrants building their new lives here.
Thank you for listening and making space for our voices. Your engagement helps ensure these experiences are not overlooked. From Crisis to Community, new episode every Tuesday in November 2025.
Thank you for listening. Don't forget to like, share, and comment if you'd like to hear more.
The Communities First and KUSPU projects are implemented within the framework of the UN Decade for People of African Descent.
Hi, this is Vicky. Are you a third country national who fled the Russian invasion of Ukraine in 2022? We'd love to hear from you on Telegram at KUSPU, or tag us on Instagram, kuspu.germany, CUSBU.Germany. If you want to help us continue this work, documenting, connecting, and supporting migrant communities, please visit www.cusbu.de/support-us. Even small contributions make a big difference.